Hey, this is Mike from Mike's Custom Woodcrafts. Today I was going to talk to you about jigsaws and how to use them the right way and some of the features you might have not even known about. So we'll get into that right now. Okay, let's start talking about the Bosch here. The Bosch is a barrel grip. This is the barrel grip. The motor is pretty much behind the cutter and your hand goes over it. This is for stability and control when you're cutting, and it works well. I mean, your hands can get fatigued holding it this way after a while. That's why I actually have two different kinds. I have the standard grip, which I'll talk to you about later, and I have this barrel grip. The way that this loads is pretty easy for the blade. You slip the blade in sideways like this, and you spin it onto the center of the wheel. And I'm going to try to do this with my balance of my hip here. And then you pop this till you hear click. And that's it. The blade's in there. A little bit getting used to, a little awkward. The newer models have a release down here, which is way better. But this thing's kind of old and it works good still. So that's that story. So we'll put this one here aside, and then we're going to talk about the other one, the Ryobi, that has the standard grip that sits over the motor. This one is good for less hand fatigue, a little less control for big cuts than the Bosch, but this works well. And you put your hand over the motor and you guide it the way you're going to guide it. Now this one actually has a fairly easy way to do this. I'll set it on the bottom by the battery here, and this you just slide into where it goes. It has this little tiny lever right here. This little lever you twist up, slide it into the wheel, push it in a little bit, let go of the lever. That's that. Now, these all have different settings also. It's like this lever corresponds with this little gauge here, and it'll show, like, you know, a rough piece of wood or some other type of piece of wood or corrugated wood or something else. And it goes from 1 to, what is that, 3, and it has little numbers up here. You can't really see them well from there, but they correspond to that little chart, and that makes this go either up and down, back and forth, like on an angle, oval, for more rough cutting. And that's pretty much what that's for. Now on the Bosch, that has the same type of thing here. I keep it on 0. 0 is a straight up and down. The Bosch goes straight up and down on the 0. If you put it, let's say, to 2, it has a different type of cut. Put it to 1. It was more oscillating on the 2 and the 3, but we'll keep it on 0. And the oscillating is more for like a rough cut. Kind of makes the blade go like, but that, if you use it on the rough cut, it'll cut through thicker wood faster. But what it'll do is it'll blow out the top of the wood. If you have it on 0 and it's going straight up and down, it'll cut slower through the wood, but it cleans this up a little nicer. Okay, and the other thing I wanted to talk about is there's two types of blades. A lot of the older saws and some of the inexpensive saws have this kind. It's the U-shape top blade. That's usually held in with some kind of a bolt or Allen key. This T-shank blade is what they all come with mainly now, and the newer ones, and these two barbs here are what makes it fit right in and locks it in, as opposed to an Allen key. So those are two different things to watch for. Okay, also there's different types of blades. This blade, it's a down cutting blade. I don't know if you can tell, the teeth kind of aim down, and that's for cutting like a countertop, so you're not pushing up on it with the blade. And it's for clean cuts on very fine detailed edges of the wood that you want it to look nice. Most saw blades, they want to cut up like this type here. The teeth kind of go up, and there's all different variations. This is for like thicker kind of rough wood. This has 10 teeth per inch. This one here is for the rougher to medium to thinner, like plywood. And this one's 8 teeth per inch. It's all the different cut that you're going to get. Here's a scroll saw type blade for real tight circles and stuff like that, and zigzaggy patterns. This is 12 teeth cut, and it should usually say it somewhere either down here on the package or up here. And these are metal cutting blades. This is for a medium thickness blade, and I don't know where the teeth per cut is on this one. 17 to 24 TPI, that's where that is. So you have all different kinds of blades for metal, for thicker metal, for wood, for finer wood. That's pretty much about the blades. Another thing to consider is the height of the wood that you're going to cut, to make sure that the blade surpasses it to make a good cut. And you always want it to be a little longer than what you're cutting to make sure of that. And also, when you're cutting, you want to make sure your piece is far enough over whatever you're cutting, because if this would go into here, like this bottom part was like, let's say your bench, you're going to cut into your bench, and you might even get a kickback where it goes bang like that.
Oh no.
So yeah, you always want to be over your piece a little bit at least. And that's that. Okay, also one of the things I wanted to talk about was the base of these. They have 2 Allen keys. This one has 1. And what it does, it's right here on this one. And what it does is it loosens this base. It'll make a 45 cut either way. And I, myself, when I used to work at the cabinet shop, I don't really like cutting a 45 with these because it's not very accurate, to be honest with you. Okay, and I'm going to get ready to show you how this oscillating part of the blade, as opposed to the straight up and down kind of look on the top here. I'm going to put this in slow motion so you can kind of see it if it works. You know, what we'll do is we'll make a cut with that oscillating part, and we'll take a look and see what it looks like up here. I'll go closer to the edge here. Okay, you can kind of see the fray here. Okay, let me put it to 0, and we'll see what this looks like with the straight up and down part. can see a pretty big difference here. This part's pretty frayed and blown out, and this one's pretty tight. This cut quicker on the oscillating as opposed to the straight and zero cut slower but nicer. Now with this scroll saw blade on here, check my underneath, make sure there's nothing there. Okay, now with the scroll saw part, this is where the fun comes in. Very quick, very tight, works out well. There you go. Okay, well that's that today for this video, and I hope you guys got something out of the difference between the two, how to load them, the cuts, the different features on them with the lever, and yeah, I'm hoping you liked it, and if you did, like and subscribe, and you guys are awesome. Have a great day. Thank you.